You're welcome back. Now, a member of the Planning Committee of the National Education Dialogue and Dean of the University of Cape Coast Business School, Professor John Gachi, has highlighted the importance of the upcoming dialogue, which aims to assess the current state of the country and propose solutions to improve the economy. Speaking on the weekend current affairs program, The Big Issue on CTFM and ChannelOne TV, Professor Gachi encouraged universal participation. Daniel Sakte has more in the following report.
President John Mahama, in his maiden State of the Nation address, painted a bleak picture of the economy, stating that it is in crisis, with public debt currently standing at 721 billion cedis. He announced that the upcoming National Economic Dialogue, scheduled for March 3rd and 4th, will serve as a platform to propose solutions to the country's economic challenges as his administration seeks to reset the economy. Member of the Planning Committee, Professor John Gachi, speaking on CTFM and ChannelOne TV's weekend current affairs program, The Big Issue, emphasized that Ghana's economic strategy must focus on addressing its debt situation.
Now we are out of the external market, we are out of the long-term domestic market. That is where our focus is supposed to be, to repair the domestic debt market so that we can begin to be issuing a longer-term instrument. And that should be the focus of the president and his finance minister. We cannot continue to have, so to say, a monopolized debt market where only treasury bill instruments is basically available to the investor. The investor doesn't have a choice. He's supposed to allocate his portfolio mainly to short-term instrument. So we need to quickly repair the domestic long-term market.
Head of Research at Dankwa Institute, Dr. Frank Bano, attributed the country's rising debt levels to the lack of corresponding revenue generation, warning of severe implications for the economy.
If Ghanaians had the notion that the Ghanaian economy was all rosy, of course, they wouldn't have given the nod to him. They would have given the nod to the incumbent to continue. But because the average Ghanaian saw that there was something wrong with the Ghanaian economy, that is why he was giving the vote to come into power. And of course, he promised so many things. So for me, critically, I was looking at the situation, for example, over the years. One of the reasons why our debt has worsened over the years is the fact that we've not been able to generate enough revenue domestically.
While the Planning Committee for the National Economic Dialogue says it has extended an invitation to the minority, MP for Wale Wale, Dr. Abdultia Kabiru Mahama says the final decision rests with the party.
As a matter of fact, the party will be there, but as a member of parliament, I would be happy to get an invitation. I'll be happy to contribute to our national discourse.
Contributing to the discussion, President of Imani Africa, Franklin Kujo, stressed the importance of the National Economic Dialogue in addressing the nation's economic crisis.
Well, all I want to say at that forum, when it comes to the issues of resetting governance and probably fixing corruption, I'm not going to recount so many of the problems we've had. Obviously, we know all of them. I'll probably be asking myself, how do we fix this issue of corruption, which largely is a function of the public service or public sector, which is thoroughly malfunctioning at this stage. Is it an incentive structure? Maybe that's where I'm going to come from.
Meanwhile, economic advisor at the Office of the Vice President, Professor Sharif Mahmoud Khalid, believes the Finance Minister and the President deserves commendation for the progress made so far.
If there's anyone that has impugned the IMF, it is his previous government, who vowed and said that they were never going to go to the IMF, but ended up going there with a tail in between their legs and hackles raised with wagging tails. So where are we now to talk about who impugned the IMF? You impugned the IMF to the extent that to even have access to the tranches of loans that were to come in were being delayed. And these are tick box exercises. Nobody cracked a sweat in any part of any jurisdiction when they are under an IMF program to access such. But you had delays, and that is impugning the IMF.
The Planning Committee of the National Economic Dialogue has expressed strong confidence that proposals made during this dialogue will serve as valuable tools for improving the economic prospects of the country. For ChannelOne News, I am Daniel Sakite.